What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot to go over in today's episode. The FOMC meeting happened today, so we're going to be talking about what happened with that meeting. We're going to be talking about Snowflake's IPO movement. So I'm sure a lot of you guys already heard about the new stock. The ticker symbol is SNOW. They had a crazy day in the market today. We have a lot to go over regarding Snowflake, and then we're also going to be talking about the new or the fifth relief bill for the U.S. economy. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of the episode. We're also going to be going over a $1.1 million call option that expires in 2 days. So keep an eye out for that. But let's get started. So if you guys aren't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. But Tom, with that being said, what major news happened in the market today?
The big news today was that the Fed decided to hold rates at zero. Powell decided to speak today at 2:30 Eastern time, and he really said that that there's still some negative aspects to the economy, but they're still going to keep rates where they are because they still said that the economy's not doing as good as it should be, and that there's still a lot of unemployment, and people still aren't going out and doing the same things that they used to be doing, and obviously everybody has to wear a mask everywhere, so there's just a ton of restrictions still on the economy overall and just overall living. And that's really what they're talking about here. And they're talking about how they're actually going to raise inflation just above 2% before raising rates to control the inflation. And the market really initially rose off of this. And if we go to a SPY chart, you can see that once he started talking at 1:30 Central Time here, you can see that it initially started going up off of these words, and then the market actually tanked in the rest of the day all the way through close pretty much. So I was kind of expecting the market to go up since they were talking about how they were going to keep doing stuff to help aid the economy still. But as we can see at the end of the day, that volume came in and the market really did end up tanking.
One major thing to keep in mind, what Powell said, is they are going to have inflation a little bit higher than normal. So the benchmark, like the target for inflation for the United States, the target is 2% per year. Normally, we do not hit that target. So, and especially this year, we actually almost came close to deflation. So pretty much what the Federal Reserve is doing now is they are going to increase inflation more like in the next couple of years above 2%, so that in the long run, the inflation rate averages that 2% goal. So with that being said, just expect some increased inflation for the next coming years. It's not going to be crazy. It's not going to be like Venezuela or anything like that, but it's going to be a little bit higher than usual, or at least that's what the Fed is trying to do. Deflation is a horrible thing, especially for the U.S. So a little bit of inflation is good, and that's what the Fed targets each year. So they're going to be increasing inflation for the next coming years. So definitely keep that in mind. But like you said, when Powell first started to speak, the market was uptrending, right? And the market actually uptrended from 2 p.m. Eastern time to 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, and in between that time frame, that was before Powell started speaking. So when the Fed, all the numbers came out and everything like that from the Federal Reserve, that's when the market started to pop. But when Powell actually started to speak, that's when the market fell. And it's not like we had a horrible day in the market. I mean, the Dow finished up 36 points. So it wasn't a horrible day. The SPY was down about 0.5%, but tech stocks kind of took a beating today, and they were down about 1.5%. So don't forget to keep your eyes on that. Tech stocks kind of suffered today. So what other major news happened today?
Snowflake had that huge IPO, and that was awesome to see. They actually popped over 119%. And they're a cloud-based data company, and they've really been the biggest talk around town lately. I know tons of traders in our Discord have been talking about trading them and getting in on the IPO, and everybody's been like, Tom, how do you trade IPOs? And I'm like, guys, I don't trade these IPOs just because of how risky they are. You can see, obviously, if you would have gotten in ride it open, you could have had a pretty good day on this stock. You couldn't have got in at a very low price, but you could have made about 30% on the rise once it started trading, to the public, that is. Warren Buffett made a pretty easy $960 million on this today. And I think he's trying to get back at everybody for saying he lost his touch, a couple months ago. But it's awesome to see that he made that much money off this trade, but he got in a lot lower than, the public could have got in that.
For sure. So yeah, Warren Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway. So that's ticker symbol BRK, but there's actually Class A shares and Class B shares. So Berkshire is actually doing pretty good recently. I mean, they're approaching their all-time highs, like the Class A shares. The all-time highs are $347,000. So we're getting close there. We're sitting around $330,000. The B shares are doing pretty good too. So that's great to see Buffett with that Snowflake IPO. I'm sure a lot of people in the comments are like, okay, this is great news, but what are you guys seeing for Snowflake for the future? And the thing is trading IPOs like this, it's just, it's risky, it's volatile, and in my opinion, it's not worth the risk. So we'll see options on this soon. But like just looking at it, like there's no history to the chart, and there's just a ton of volatility. So this is why I never trade IPOs. Some people do good with them, but it's just a ton of volatility. And especially, since you can't trade options on them right now, I just don't like the trade. Like, I don't see an edge in trading this stock. What do you think?
Yeah, it almost reminds me of Uber. Whenever they IPO'd a long time ago, I know there was a ton of hype around Uber, and a lot of people thought that they were gonna, obviously fly up and beat expectations and all that. And you can see that really ever since they IPO'd, they actually went down on IPO day and for the first couple of days, and then they kind of came back for a few months, and then overall really tanked off. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen to Snowflake, because Snowflake is a data company, so I would expect them to do a lot better than Uber would do. But I'm just saying that with these type of volatile moves, you don't know which way it's going to go, because they could have IPO'd and there could have just been too much hype around the IPO that drove it up way too much. So now they're going to have to fall back down to like $150 a share. I know that they were set to IPO a lot lower than what they actually did IPO at this morning, though. And I think that caught a lot of traders off guard.
Absolutely. So what other major news happened?
Yeah, CNBC reports that Donald Trump pushes Republicans to embrace more coronavirus stimulus spending as the stalemate over the fifth relief bill drags on. This optimism into the political spectrum that has been going nowhere lately. So really, it's just bringing a lot more optimism regarding this stimulus package. I know that this has been going on in Congress for a while, and we pretty much give a weekly update on it. And it seems like every week something new comes out about it. A couple weeks ago, there was news saying that it wasn't going to go anywhere. And now it seems like there's some optimism coming to it. So, maybe we'll see some news over the next couple weeks about some talks about the bill going forward. And maybe, Republicans will allow some more money to go into that bill.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Politics are always going back and forth, back and forth. So, like you said, I know this has been going on for a couple weeks now, but, we'll see what happens with it. I'm not really too concerned with the bill right now. I don't think it's going to have a huge influence on the market right now, but I think it's just something to keep an eye on for the next couple weeks. So now with our Discord member of the day, and today's member of the day is Ben Murray. So huge shout out to Ben. He made a great trade this morning off of your pick, Tom, actually. So the free day trade you gave out today, DraftKings call options, or DraftKings to the upside, he took advantage of this. So huge shout out to Ben for following that trade. He made about $200, and I think it was 30 seconds he posted in the Discord. So great job there. If you guys want to get access to trades like this, it's completely free. You can click the Discord link in the description down below. There's about 9,000 people in the chat. We're always talking stocks, options, and finance every single day. Like we said, it's completely free to join. So if you guys want to join, you can just click the Discord link in the description down below. And Tom and I send out day trade picks every single morning about 15 minutes before open, just some setups that we're looking at. So shout out to Ben and great job with that. So now with our momentum plays for tomorrow, and the first one is INO. So this stock popped 36% today. In the beginning of the week, it was sitting around $10, about $11. Right now, it's sitting about 18. So this stock has been exploding this week, and it has a ton of upwards momentum. So we could see that when it ran in the past, back in late June, it went from all the way from $15 all the way up to about 34. So it's running again. Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Yeah, just make it really break that solid $19 level.
All right, so if it breaks above that level, Tom and I would like this to the upside for a day trade. With the next play, we have Facebook, but this one is to the downside.
Yeah, make them go ahead and fall below 261.50.
All right, so if it breaks below the level Tom listed, we'll be eyeing this to the downside. And last but not least, we have NVDA, again to the downside.
NVDA, make it fall below $500. I think that'll be a pretty benchmark level for it.
That's a huge level, $500. It's a huge psychological support level. So if we do break below that, that can, if we break below it with momentum to the downside, that can be a pretty solid day trade. So now for our unusual options activity for tomorrow, and there was $1.1 million put into the AAL 14 strike call options that expire this Friday, September 18th. So I was looking at these airline stocks, and it's looking like they're kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say like uptrending because like on a long term.
Yeah, it looks like they're holding their levels pretty
Yes.
well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. So like they're holding their levels. So I kind of like airlines right now. I mean, I know they're like a risky sector right now or a risky industry, but I think out of everything we've seen in the past couple months, I feel like now's a pretty decent time to get into airlines.
Yeah, and they're really close to the money on these calls too. I mean, they're only 4 cents off the high up today and only 20 cents from where they are in after hours right now. So, I mean, that would lead me to believe that, they're bullish on this play, and just the way it looks on a daily chart, it just looks like that this stock's uptrending. Like you said, I mean, it's holding the 100 SMA, and it seems like it's just not falling below those low levels that I think a lot of people thought this stock would fall below. I mean, they did have a pretty bad, last few months and since the virus actually happened, but they haven't really fallen below any lows. They just kind of held where they are really and have just traded flat over the past few months.
And I think that's a great sign because
even though they were negative $7 a share.
Right, and you look at like Southwest, which is ticker symbol LUV. They're doing really well. Delta's doing really well. DAL. I think.
Oh yeah, they're really turning over compared to that one.
Yeah, so I think airlines are definitely worth looking into right now because they're not like, what I mean? I just think they're out of everything that has gone on in the past couple months. I feel that since we're finally seeing airlines flatten out, I think it can be a good sign to maybe get in them for the long term. It is a risky sector. Like, you could get much safer. There's a lot more safer stocks out there in ETFs than airlines, but out of everything we've seen in the past couple months, I think airlines are looking pretty good.
Yeah, it would definitely be a good option for like maybe some growth. Don't throw your whole portfolio into this, but it'd be a good option to throw a couple grand on this. Like let's just say you have a $20,000 portfolio. It'd be a good option to throw a couple grand in this as a nice growth opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those riskier investments. So higher risk, higher reward. We can see American Airlines is sitting around $14, and its highs in the past 9 months were about $31. Southwest, which would be a little bit more safer than American Airlines, sitting around 42. Its highs were about 59 in the past 9 months. So definitely check them out. So now with our comments from the previous episode, and we have Samora saying made some money on Penn today, but got squeezed on DraftKings. So let's take a look at Penn. I mean, what do you think about PENN right now?
Yeah, Penn, I mean, it looks like they could have been traded very well this morning, but just like a lot of stocks did today, at the end of the day, they just really tanked off. And I mean, really, I think it's going to depend what the overall market does. But It's almost like PENN. It almost kind of follows what DraftKings does, not to a T, but they're kind of intertwined with the sector that they do with online gambling and sports gaming and stuff like that. But really, I think that Penn kind of looks bearish to me in the short term, anyways.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree with you. I would say a little bit more neutral. Yeah, I agree with you. So then we have Tom saying, looking forward to seeing how the Tesla call goes. I don't know if I'm going to play it because I already did earlier this week, but it'll be exciting to see. So he was referring to the Tesla unusual options activity from yesterday. And then we also had music saying, I bought a Tesla call. What do you think? So what do you think with Tesla? I mean, it was a huge beta burner today. If we go to the Tesla options chain right now, Tom, if you can go to that, we could see the calls, the weekly, September 18th, we can see that the calls lost a ton of value as well as the puts. We could see both of those just got killed today. So what do you think, for Tesla for the short term?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like it for calls in the short term. I mean, the only reason that I think people would be liking it is because of battery day and the hype surrounding that. But I mean, until the actual announcement comes out, I don't think traders really know which way it's going to go. I personally think with the big rise it had over the past few days, I think that it could easily come back and consolidate until that actual announcement comes out. So I think until that announcement, I would be neutral or just not even trade Tesla at all. But I know that guy had a lot of calls yesterday, and I hope he shorted him, because if he didn't, he's going to be down a lot of money today. That's for sure.
Yeah, that unusual options activity from yesterday was like over $60 million. And I believe it was the 500 strike. So, whatever whale traded that, hopefully it was like a covered call or like something he shorted, like you said.
If it was covered calls, then he's rolling in the money now.
Oh,
He'd be very happy.
That'd be amazing. But yeah, back to battery day though. I think there's definitely a lot of hype around it, and that can be good and bad. Because sometimes, when you have a lot of hype around certain events, like, kind of like the Oracle deal with TikTok, there was a ton of hype around, who's going to get TikTok? Is it going to be, Oracle, Microsoft? Who's going to get it, right? And Oracle ended up partnering with TikTok, but they ended up popping in pre-market too much on Monday, where they just fell by the time the market opened. And I think that's a possibility with Tesla. I mean, there's no way to tell right now, but I'm just saying the point is that hype can be good and bad. Tesla might unleash some crazy new discovery with their batteries, and then their stock flies through the roof. That's definitely a possibility too. But the main thing is to understand that there's a lot of hype behind the event, and hype can affect stocks in different ways. So Tesla is one of those stocks, though, where hype historically really benefits Tesla. Just look at their chart for the past year. They're exploding. Especially from the lows back in March. So I'm definitely have my eyes on Tesla next week. So with that being said, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, the last thing I was going to talk about was MU. I kind of really like this setup here. This stock just keeps stair-stepping up every single day, it seems like. And today, they didn't really fall off too much at the end of the day. And they're kind of, they popped right above a support I have. So if they can, kind of consolidate and hold this $50 support, I would like this for calls in the morning, considering how well they've done lately. But, if the overall market ends up going down tomorrow, then calls are not going to be a good option on pretty much every stock. So, just keep that in mind, that if the overall market does go down and you see negative momentum on these stocks, don't get calls on this. But if you do see it hold this $50 level, then I think that this could be a great stock, at least back up to 51 or maybe 51.50.
Yeah, I'm just going to re-emphasize that do not just blindly buy in MU calls or MU stock. If the market's tanking or MU is below that $50 level, it's not going to be a good play. However, if it can hold above the $50 level and the market's up or has decent momentum, it can be a great play. So keep that in mind. Definitely be mindful of what the market overall is doing. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. Tom and I really appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much for all the likes, comments, and new subscribers. I saw a couple of you guys in the comments yesterday just leaving comments down below for the YouTube algorithm. So thank you guys so much for that. Any comments down below really helps grow the channel, and Tom and I are very grateful for you guys. So thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.